Sup, I'm Rat. Do you like dogs? Do you like seeing dogs do funny or entertaining things? Well, forget about that. There are no dogs in this game. It's about murdering countless people. Welcome to Watch Dogs. Watch Dogs is a game that was released in 2014 to a not-so-good reception. It was shown off with the super amazing graphics before they even knew the specs of the next-gen consoles, so when it came out, it was a little less than promised, and that is an understatement, by the way. So that, along with the heavily downgraded hacking system and a bunch of people saying the protagonist is unlikable and bland, kinda made people not want to touch it. But in recent years, many people have gone back to it and played it for the first time, or a second time or whatever, and realized, hey, it's not that bad. Now, I just want to say, I have a very personal connection to this game. I got it Christmas the year it came out, along with a brand new Wii U. Yeah, I originally played it on the Wii U, very cringe, I know. Anyway, I fell in love with the game, I played it a ton and ended up completing the main story once or twice, despite being like 9 at the time. So I've known this game is good for like half my life, but after going back to replay it this past year, I can confidently say that this game is way better than I remember. Let's start out with the story, and this is gonna take a while, so get a snack or something. The story begins with a cutscene where Aiden and his furry RP buddy, Damien, were caught yiffing in public. What the fuck am I saying, dog? Why? Okay, so actually they were just hacking money from a bunch of people in the hotel. There's this woman and a corrupted video that will be more important later. So fast forward a bit and Aiden has a hit on him, and during said hit, his niece dies, which makes him go absolute John Wick mode, slaughtering countless goons to get to the gunman. So here we get to the actual game. Maurice is beat senseless and Aiden shoots him, except he doesn't. I love this opening, and I think it's the perfect opening for a game like this. It sets up some characters, motivations, themes, everything in a short amount of time. It hooks you. I know it hooked 9-year-old me, which, you know, given how violent this game is, maybe that's not a good idea, but yeah. Aiden knocks Maurice out, and we get introduced to one of the best characters, Jordy.
He's talking to me. Come on, you're not just a little interested in my phone call.
All right, fine. Tell me about your phone call.
I called the cops.
You did.
Look, we get a messy altercation at the end of the game. You and I slip away undetected. They'll appreciate the plan tomorrow.
So it turns out this whole thing happened in the basement of a baseball stadium, so Aiden escapes by causing a blackout and returns to his motel where he has a bad dream. He takes his mind off of it in the totally healthy coping mechanism of committing unaggravated assault. And here we get introduced to a core feature of the game, kind of, the reputation meter. It's exactly what it sounds like: start killing or harming civilians and cops, and people will fear Aiden, also occasionally calling the cops on him when they recognize him. There's not really a reward for having a good reputation other than feeling good about yourself. I really like this reputation system, even though it doesn't really add or take away anything majorly. It makes your actions feel like they have some weight, which the later games are missing. Like, killing a random NPC isn't just killing an NPC, it's killing a person. An albeit fake person, but it makes you feel some remorse. At least for me it does. I try not to kill any cops or civilians if possible. Although you could just be a cold-blooded monster and slaughter everyone if you want to, which, you know, you do you, I guess. After nearly flatlining a guy, Aiden goes to his nephew's birthday party, totally normal. There's a rabbit, which is neat, and a weirdo calling Aiden's sister Nikki, and in typical Aiden Pierce fashion, he beats him up. He calls up his new furry RP partner, Bad Boy 17, to try and find who paid the creep to call his sister. So Aiden goes to clear out a C2S place and kills a bunch of guards, but don't feel bad, these guys are war crimes, allegedly.
Just regions of the world. In fact, Ms. Gardner, these peacekeepers you refer to are military mercenaries, many with criminal records. Isn't that true?
Jordy calls Aiden and has him cover a job for him, drive a dude somewhere, so you do that and he gets murdered by this old guy, Lucky Quinn. Quinn is the leader of the Chicago South Club and will become important later, probably, maybe, I don't know. Aiden finally gets to meet his gay furry RP partner in person.
Bad Boy 17. What the fuck, man?
But turns out it isn't Twink, but actually a woman. Day ruined. This is the last time I'll make the furry RP joke, okay? I'm sorry, I just went to... Aiden goes through a couple C2S places, killing everyone in sight so he can find who paid the creep to call Nikki. He hacks the C2S place and has to kill more people. Seems to be a recurring thing, you know? Anyway, turns out Damien, the guy from the beginning, paid the creep and needs Aiden's help. There are other forms of communication instead of just, you know, harassing family. But, you know, we'll get back to that storyline in a minute, but Jordy calls again. Turns out there's a witness.
Survivor from the stadium. If that guy talks, he'll ID you.
Survivor? How did that happen?
I'm guessing he didn't die.
How did that happen?
Kick me when I'm down.
It was the guy he stabbed, so you gotta do a couple missions, like infiltrating a compound, committing vehicular slaughter, and then finally getting arrested to scare the guy into silence. I find this entire plotline to be stupid. Like, Jordy literally offers to have the guy killed for Aiden.
Do you have contacts in the prison?
I already asked if they could make our guys slip in the shower. They're dirty, but they're not that dirty.
I'm gonna get arrested.
Of course you are. Why the hell are you doing that?
This witness we're after, he's a nobody. He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He wasn't looking for me. I don't want to kill him.
But instead, Aiden decides he doesn't want to kill this one specific guy because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Like, dog, that's all you do. Kill people that were in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all he does. Anyway, tangent over. Damien kidnaps Nikki because Aiden was all, I don't want to, when they met. But Jackson escapes, so Aiden's got to save him. Aiden calls Claire up to his motel room to help figure out the thing that Damien gave her. She goes to leave, but Aiden hears something. And then just blows his room up. Aiden has his motel room rigged to blow in case some fixers came for him, and they came for him. I just find that funny. Like, what level of paranoid, but also, you know, it has good reason for it, do you have to be to have your room rigged with explosives at all times? Anyway, he gets Claire out. Turns out she knows of a place, allegedly, that they can do the thing. So, they go to the bunker, and after doing stuff to actually get to it, holy shit, no way, tally hole! They power the bunker and can finally get back to work, so Aiden finds the IP Damien wants and goes there, you guessed it, to kill a bunch of people. I guess also disable the security terminals, but who really cares? You get to do some camera stuff and see the leader of the Viceroys, Iraq, beat a guy to death because of stoats.
These fucks are stoked. Yo, it's a weasel, man. Weasel!
Iraq is working with Lucky Quinn for an auction. Toji being born later. Also, during that scene, you see Bedbug, Iraq's cousin, who is definitely on thin ice.
Who do you think's gonna win? Between you and business. Business.
So, Aiden does some spying, and here Aiden also saves a guy he's about to shoot, and we get introduced to a mission type I like to call guiding, where you guide another character to a safe spot, and that's basically it. During this mission, you can't leave the cameras, and I'm pretty sure it's a guaranteed fail. Okay, so, turns out I just lied. You can actually get him out safely, or just murder everyone like in later guide missions. You can just leave the cams and kill everyone, negating the need to actually do the mechanic. So, anyway, Aiden finds out Bedbug's gonna be killed, so he meets up with Jordy to get some better gear. It's bombs. He gets bombs.
For you. It's a sticky bomb. See? It sticks. Cool, huh?
Then he goes and prevents Bedbug's murder. Then Aiden blackmails him and has him on standby. And I found this really funny thing you could do where you kill his bodyguards so he just schizzos out like they're still alive. Okay, let's go over the game plan real quick. Aiden's got to find a list of people for Lucky Quinn's auction so that he can meet Iraq there to scan and copy his text so that he can send Bedbug into his room to find out what he's got. Does it make sense to you? Good. So, Aiden finds the list and steals the identity of Mr. Crispin, a man who isn't very nice at all.
They list his preferences. This man is sick.
Aiden goes and kills him so he can't blow his cover and then grabs his invitation in a
Gentlemen's Fetish Club.
I don't like that. But before he can leave, he meets Poppy. Hey, look, it's the girl from the opening. Look at that.
Is everything to your liking? You interrupt me again and you're next.
So Aiden goes to the auction where it's just a human trafficking ring, obviously. I don't think that's an occupation. Yeah, so Aiden scans Iraq's dog tags, talks with Quinn a bit, and then escapes. Oh wait, what is on? Whoa. Yeah, anyway, Aiden escapes and then immediately gets called to be informed that Jackson has gone missing, so he finds him, killing like 30 people in the process, all of which Jack saw because of the cameras, so Aiden just traumatized him. Aiden questions if he's actually the kind of guy to kill that many people.
Jack's face. What did I do? I killed every one of them. What was I thinking? That's not who I am. Is it?
That's like his whole thing, being a morally gray vigilante using deadly force whenever someone commits a crime, or it's literally just doing their job, which is very hypocritical, I must add, but I'll talk about that more later. I won't. Aiden finally gets to send Bedbug into Rossi Fremont and steal all the info in a guide mission, but Bedbug ends up getting caught and thrown out a window, which he somehow survives? I don't know, that's like easily a 50-foot drop on the concrete. He'd at least be extremely injured or unable to move. Anyway, Aiden gets a call from Damien and gets to talk to Nikki.
Come get me, please.
Nah. Real quick, I want to mention that this game is split up into acts, which have a basic goal that all the missions aid in achieving. Everything from saving Jacksons from the Fixers to Bedbug getting thrown out of a window was all in Act 2. Yeah, I don't know why they made Act 2 the longest, but anyway, moving on. To decrypt the info Bedbug got from Rossi Fremont, Aiden's got to find Raymond Kenny, one of the guys who created the encryption, so you do a bunch of missions to find him, and then you do more missions to get him to actually come to the bunker to decrypt the files. I just skipped over an entire act, by the way. Not because I dislike these missions, I actually think these are some of the best in the game, but because I don't want to be in my closet for several hours. But anyway, to summarize this mission, Aiden gets drunk and kidnapped, he steals back a taco van, chases a helicopter.
Have you ever chased a helicopter? And no, that is not a philosophical question.
I've been chased by a few. What does that have to do with anything?
Kills a convoy, hacks a CTOS place, and then saves T-Bone from fixers.
Are you okay?
Which is T-Bone is Raymond Kenny, if you don't know. That's basically all of Act 3. I don't know why I summarized that one. It's the shortest in the game. Anyway, Aiden goes into Rossi Fremont and gets the info himself, then kills Iraq. Then he gets all that info stolen immediately by default, a hacker that was mentioned once earlier for trying to hack in. Here, it's also revealed that Clara is partially responsible for the hit on Aiden, being the one to find his and Damien's info in the first place.
Are you planning to hurt them?
When has that ever bothered you?
Speaking of Damien, Aiden goes to meet him, and since he doesn't have the data, Damien threatens Nikki.
Your sister lives or dies in a phone call.
Then kill her.
Then reveals to the public that Aiden is the vigilante and he's right there in front of them in downtown Chicago. Aiden escapes the police and then has T-Bone clean up the call audio, then heads out to steal back the data from Default. You guide T-Bone to safely, and by guide I mean kill all the enemies. Aiden then confronts Default in his club, and after chasing him down, he puts him down like Rope Yeller. At least I did. I hated this rat bastard. Very ironic, I know. T-Bone cleaned up the audio, so Aiden goes to save Nikki by guiding her to safety. Then he drives her and Jackson out of Chicago on the most frustrating mission ever. They have a heartfelt goodbye, then you're off to the final few missions. Wow, Aiden hacks into and enters them a lot and finds out Lucky Quinn was behind the hit because he thought Aiden and Damien were after the video of the mayor murdering Rose Washington, a former CTOS employee. Former because she's dead. So Aiden kills Quinn.
Watching an old man die.
And says the generic I feel empty line, except he doesn't.
Quinn's dead. This is the part where I'm supposed to say I feel empty, right? I'd be lying to myself. I finally feel awake. Like I can breathe again. And Lena? Nothing can change her death. But maybe I can still do something that'll make a difference.
I actually really like that Aiden doesn't do the whole empty inside thing, because he got his revenge. That's what he wanted from the start. That's his whole motive. That's why he became the vigilante. Moving on, Clara called Damien and tried to trade for Nikki, because she didn't know that she was safe by then, due to being kicked out, basically. So Aiden's got to rush to try and save her, except it's impossible, so she ends up dying. He returns to the bunker where T-Bone packs up and leaves as Aiden uploads his files stolen from Iraq, where the news instantly picks up on it. This all leads into the final mission, where Aiden tracks Damien down by going from location to location, uploading a virus to cut his connection to C2S so he can pinpoint him. Right before he does, though, DedSec chimes in.
Aiden Pierce, wait. We are DedSec. We've been watching. We know what you're doing. You're killing the lines to CTOS.
Enjoy the show.
Give us 30 seconds.
For what?
30 seconds inside CTOS. We drop in our code. Then, when the system reboots, DedSec will control the machine from inside. We will correct what Boom has broken. 30 seconds is all we need.
30 seconds, no one knows. Our little secret.
We will be the watchdogs.
Okay, hold on. Let's back up for a second. At the very beginning of this part, there's this impossible hack. Now, it can actually be done, and I did it, so I did the impossible. You should subscribe. Doing so gets you commended by DedSec for being able to do it.
Do our eyes deceive? That hack was impossible. How did you do that? You realize, together we could change this city.
I can do that without DedSec.
This completely negates the need to upload the virus and skips a majority of the mission, which is amazing, honestly. It's so nice. Anyway, back to what happens after you do the hack, or you just do the mission normally. Aiden hacks into CTOS and shuts it down completely, also pinpointing Damien's location when Aiden goes to kill it. He gets interrupted by Jordy, but of course Aiden hacks the lights and gets the better of him, killing Damien and finishing the game.
I don't know what Damien wanted in those final moments. Death, I suppose. I thought I could fix a little girl's death, but instead it led to all of this. Exposed lies, corrupted kings, a broken city. And me, changed man. I don't look back anymore. I don't regret. I look forward. Everything is connected, and I'll use that to expose, to protect, and if necessary, to punish.
Except, there's one more mission. Aiden enters the garage, and you're given the choice. Either shoot Maurice, or leave. This is a decision that reflects not only you, the player, but Aiden and how you perceive him. If you shoot him, it cuts to credits, harsh and abruptly.
We're both fucks! Fucking shoot me!
But if you leave, you hear Aiden say this.
Maurice is living his own private hell. He's a victim in all of this. And I've seen enough death. He's gonna get a second chance. We both are.
I also want to mention that Maurice has a whole speech, but if you stay there too long, the game just kind of bites out. I think this is an amazing way to end the game, with Maurice and Aiden in the same positions they were in the start, but with both of them having changed. Personally, I think it's the true ending. Aiden himself even says they're both getting a second chance. That's what this game is really about, a man getting a second chance. Or maybe not, I don't know, I'm just some guy on the internet, I'm not a fucking psychoanalyst or whatever, I don't know the underlying meaning of anything. Alright, now I was going to talk about the psychology and whatnot of Aiden, but then I realized I'm too stupid to actually do that, and I'd basically just be plagiarizing other people, so I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm just going to talk about the actual gameplay, which is what I do, because I'm a gamer. Let's go! The main selling point of Watch Dogs when it launched was the hacking, and to be honest, the hacking is very bare bones, being reduced to a single button that you either press or hold, and that's it. I like that the hacking is simple. A lot of people were upset that the hacking was downgraded, and while later installments in this franchise have remedied this with more in-depth hacking system, I find this to be distracting. In this game, literally everything is a tap or technically a short hold of a button away, and I just like it. If this game had the later versions of hacking, I would find it to be incredibly intrusive and obtuse. Look at me using big words. Because this game, specifically Watch Dogs 1, excels at gunplay. And in the context of Watch Dogs 1, Aiden is a fixer who can hack, not a hacker that has a gun, like in the later games. And speaking of the gunplay and combat, oh my god, is it perfect. All the guns in this game feel good to shoot, all the takedown animations are sick, and just everything about it is satisfying. The guns are in 4 different slots, handguns and some SMGs technically, rifles and SMGs and an LMG for some reason, shotguns, and sniper and grenade launchers. The game gives you the best pistol at the very start, the Spec Ops 1911, so all the others are basically obsolete, especially if you're going for stealth. That's not to say the others don't have their place, I quite like the revolvers, because they're revolvers, duh, but I only use those ones I've spotted. In the rifles and SMGs, there's a decent variety, but they all kind of do the same thing while handling a bit differently. In the shotgun slot, there's only like 5, and once you get to AA-12, all the others are just worse. But I like to not use it because all the others make me feel cool. In the sniper and grenade launcher slot, I use only the grenade launchers because all the snipers are unsilenced to my knowledge, meaning I basically never used them because I was mostly stealth. Now, for the gadgets, there's 3 categories: physical, digital, and drugs. For physical, there's lures, frags, IEDs, and proximity IEDs. They're all self-explanatory. For digital, there are jam comms, blackout, and CTOS scan. They're self-explanatory too, with the exception of CTOS scan. It just scans enemies in the nearby area, that's all it does. For drugs, there's only one: focus boost, which boosts your focus for a bit. Duh. Now, guns and gadgets aren't the only combat in this game. In many missions, you'll have to take down vehicles in either car chases or setting up ambushes. The driving in this game is phenomenal. Plus, you can change the camera while driving to a few different views, both the actual first-person view, which just makes it so immersive. Personally, I like the trucks and SUVs because they offer a good balance of speed and durability, but there are a lot, and I mean a lot, of different vehicles to choose from, and they all, for the most part, handle differently. And I want to mention this real quick, it really was a missed opportunity to not have the ability to shoot out of your car in this game. I know Watch Dogs 2 has that feature, but it makes more sense for Aiden than it does Marcus. This game also has a skill tree kind of thing that's split into a few different categories: combat, driving, hacking, and crafting items. They're all self-explanatory, and depending on how you want to play the game, you'll go for different trees first. Although, quick suggestion, go into the craftables early so you can get the blackout. When it comes to side content, there are a ton of side missions and contracts to complete, along with a random event crimes that can happen anytime, anywhere. Well, there's technically two types of random crimes. There's the ones that are detected through CTOS and whatnot, meaning there's an area you have to search for a criminal or victim and stop the crime. And then there's the actual random crimes where a random person will commit a crime out of the blue near you, and you can stop them or not, it's up to you. The side missions are basically bite-sized versions of main missions, at least in the archetype. There are stealth missions, takedown missions, hideout missions, stuff like that. There's also online stuff, which I didn't touch, but I felt worth mentioning in case you like that kind of thing. I'm pretty sure there are still people playing it, so, good luck. Aside from all the other side content, there's a bunch of minigames. There's Cash Run, where you run around collecting digital coins to try and get a high score, and there are plenty of different tracks throughout Chicago, so it's not going to get stale too quickly. B tier. InVSN, pronounced Invasion, is a game where you shoot a bunch of digital aliens with a digital gun, and go as long as you can. It's pretty simple, but I suck at aiming. C tier. Next up are digital trips, of which there are 5. There's Alone, where you go through a desolate Chicago, only populated by hostile CTOS bots that you must avoid while getting to a thing. I don't actually know what this is, but hacking it makes the area safe and gives you a skill point. There's also weapon caches throughout the city you can grab. I didn't play this one much, but it's nice, especially if you like stealth. A tier. Conspiracy. You gotta profile and kill cyborgs in heavily populated Chicago. Simple, yet challenging once you get to the later stages. B tier. Madness. You drive a car and run people over. It's alright, but you can't drive in first person, so C tier, maybe D tier. Psychedelic. You jump around on giant flowers. S tier. And for the last digital trip, Spider Tank. It's as great as it sounds. You pilot a giant spider tank as you wreak havoc on Chicago. S tier. I want a game that is just this. If they made a refined full version of this and put it up for sale, it'd be a game of the year. So for the other minigames, they're scattered throughout the city, so you actually gotta go and find them. Poker, D tier. I don't play poker, so yeah. The shell game. F tier. I hate this game. Chess. C tier. I barely understand chess, so yeah. Drinking game. S tier. Not only is it fun, but also decently challenging, and nothing stopping you from driving right after. Remember, it's the drunk crashers that are the problem, not the drunk drivers. Slot machines. D tier. It's literally just gambling. Plus, there's only like 3 of them. Now, this wouldn't be an open world Ubisoft game without collectibles, and throughout Chicago, there are a ton of them, ranging from privacy invasions to literal corpses. I like collectibles. I'm still in the process of getting them as I write the script and as I'm recording. Watch Dogs is honestly a great game, and while it does have its faults, I just kind of ignored them. I'd give Watch Dogs a rating of like 8 out of 10. I'm definitely biased, but what did you expect? This is my channel anyway. All the factors from the story, the characters, the gameplay, and all the other stuff make this a very good and worthwhile game, so I highly suggest you go play it for yourself. Alright, yeah, that's